Well, so in today's video, I'm going to give you some of the top pros and some of the top cons about the new Honda Elevate. Yes, we've been driving this car today on the outskirts of Udaipur. As you can see, we're just on the outskirts of Udaipur, and I have to say, we've been driving this car for the last couple of hours, 3 hours. We've driven around 100 odd kilometers, and I have to give you some positives and some negatives. Now, let's start off with the negative first, because if I start off with the positives, then you'll say that I'm a biased journalist and I always give positive reviews about Honda cars. So let's start off with the negative first, or the positive. Now, the first negative is that if you talk of the back seat, if you go into the back, you'll see that this car doesn't have a USB charger. It's at a 12 volt charging point, but there is no USB charging point over there. So that is something which I think Honda should fix, and definitely a USB is something which is more practical, it's easier, and something that they should have installed. So that is the first negative. They should have given you USB Type C, or maybe the regular USB over there. Second negative is that this car has some very good features. It has Honda sensing, essentially ADAS level features, but they've not given you cool front seats. Now, a lot of other journalists will say cool front seats isn't a very useful feature, but they've not driven the car in 45 degrees heat in Delhi. So I will say that cool front seats is a very useful feature, and the Grand Vitara has it, the Seltos has it, the Creta has it, and I think they should have definitely given that feature on this car, because it would have taken the comfort game, or maybe the luxury game, one level up. That's another thing that Honda has missed out on. Definitely should have given you this feature. And of course, the third negative is a very obvious one, and that negative is that even though there is a sunroof, it's not a big one. It's not a panoramic sunroof like some rivals offer. In fact, all rivals offer now. Even the Seltos now with its update has panoramic sunroof. So that's something that they should have offered you on this car. And those are three areas where they can improve. Maybe they'll bring out an updated version sometime soon and give you that. So these are negatives, but now let's focus on the positives. Well, I'm sure by now all of you are aware that Woodmo are the online expert when it comes to spare parts, and the best point is that they have the spare parts for all vehicles available in India. So even if your car is out of production now, maybe you have a large generation model, even then they have the spare part available. They have the entire catalog, and the best point is that they have the same spare part from a host of different component makers, which gives you great flexibility in the pricing overall. So check them out today. Check out the app. It's available both for iOS as well as Android devices, and also check out the website for the latest schemes as well as offers. There are lots of positives on this car, lots of things which you can talk about, and stuff that I have to tell you. The first big positive is, of course, the overall ride comfort. Yes, this car is the best car in this segment now for sheer ride comfort, and it really is a very good car in that department. The suspension setup is very good, and it shows you how well the suspension has been tuned for Indian road conditions. On the highway, everything gets easily soaked up into the suspension. Everything gets absorbed. It doesn't really give you any jhatkas. The stability is very good, especially if you're doing 110 kph. It just has fantastic stability. And of course, apart from all that, even at slow city speeds, the ride is generally very good. Even though you might take it on those badly passable roads, you might take it somewhere else, ride comfort generally is fantastic. So that's something which is a very big positive. I think it's the best in terms of the ride comfort in this segment. And of course, the agility also is quite good for a big SUV. The steering wheel input is good. Overall, it doesn't feel like a very big car. It doesn't have the girth, which can sometimes make you feel very irritated. And it just wraps itself around the driver. So that's also something which a lot of customers will enjoy, especially those of you who drive a lot within city limits. So that's another big positive. And I think the biggest big positive is the engine and the drivetrain. This 1.5 high VTEC is already a tried and tested product. We've already seen it on the car like the Honda City, and it's really delivered. It really is delivered goods in terms of the reliability, in terms of performance, in terms of refinement, even fuel efficiency. And I think it'll truly be fantastic on all those parameters, even with this car. So that's something great, and it just feels nice and crisp to drive. It's a very crisp car. That's one word I will use. It just feels fantastic in terms of the driving bits, and that's something which I have to say is just brilliant on the Honda Elevate. So that's another big positive. Now the next positive is for people who sit in the back seat, because the back seat again is very good in terms of the seat comfort. Even the front seats are very good in terms of seat comfort. Don't get me wrong, I think the seats on this car are the best again in this segment, both in the front and at the back. They offer you very good support, very good cushioning, and the space also is very well utilized. Now Honda uses the hand maximum machine minimum principle, and I think it works really well on the interiors of the Honda Amaze. It really is a fantastic car in that department, and I think anyone who's buying a car just for the backseat experience will truly enjoy sitting inside the Honda Elevate. So that's another big positive. Boot, that's also something which Honda seems to have taken care of. It really works very well. It's a big boot, nice and square shaped boot, very minimal hill, so you don't have too much intrusion, and you can, even those big bags, you can take them out with any fuss. And just in general, the entire space and packaging inside this car has been done quite well, so no complaints in that department. And it also looks quite nice. Now it might not have the flashy looks of some of its rivals. You might say it doesn't look like a Seltos, or it doesn't look like the Creta or even the Taygun. So it doesn't have the flashy looks, but it has very conservative looks, but it should appeal to a very large audience. Yes, it should appeal to a big audience out there, because Indians like their cars to be conservative. Indians like subtle designs. They like designs which shout out class as well as sophistication, and I think this design does that. It has good road presence. If you take it on the road, it does have good road presence. It looks very long from the side. That's also quite good. And from the back end, I think it looks the best. So I think it looks quite good. It might not again have the flashy looks of some of its rivals, but it looks quite good, quite mature and sophisticated as well. And of course, the last thing is that it has the Honda badge, which simply means that desirability is good, because it's a well-engineered car. It drives very well, and that means that even after 6 years, 7 years, 5 years, whatever, you might want to resell the car, you'll definitely get good value when you sell it, because Honda cars always deliver in terms of the sheer value for money quotient when you go out and sell them again, especially if you do so at a Honda dealership. Well, so this was my list of positives and negatives. What do you think of the list? Do let me know. Lots of positives to talk about, some negatives as well. Yes, of course, before I forget, the CVT gearbox also is a big positive, because it's a hassle-free gearbox. Also gets paddle shifters, so you get some sense of control over the gears, and of course it just drives very well and feels like a nice and refined unit. So it just gels well with this unit. So those were some big positives and negatives. If you agree with them, you can let me know in the comment section below. If you don't agree with them, you can let me know in the comment section below. If you have seen this video till the end but still haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. And if you don't drive with your seatbelts on, you should always do it. Always wear your seatbelt if you're driving in the city, on the highway, if you're sitting alone, if you're sitting on your family, check everybody is driving when you're driving with the seatbelt. And of course, these are things which really make a big difference to safety of the occupants. Thanks guys for watching this video. It's bye for now, and we'll catch you in another one very soon.